Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Back from a lovely day out yesterday with our coach trip to Burnham's. Sarah did us a lovely sandwich lunch with cakes and biscuits and plenty of coffee in my case. Yeah, most enjoyable day. We had a great coach driver, sort of joined in, chatted with people, came into the nursery. A lot of them just sit on the coach. So that was good. I think everybody enjoyed themselves. It all went well. Everybody was on time. The coach was great, so a good day out, When you organise something and it goes well, it's a nice feeling, It's a hassle factor from the point of view that you're nervous. If you're the organiser and stuff goes wrong, it's always your fault, even though it might not be. Anyway, it all went well, and the videos I took of the nursery, I've got 28 clips. I mean, they're all short ones because that's, if you're filming at a show or something like that, you can't do continuous clips. You have to split them up because people get in your way. I'll put those together. I might separate them actually for the different areas. The Orchid Paradise is one area where all their sort of specimen display plants are. Then there's the sales area where most of the orchids there are the bought-in ones, as I call them, but smashing display this time. And then the actual growing areas, where they grow their own orchids and some of their own hybrids and things like that. So I may split those up. As far as the nursery is concerned, in my humble opinion, we should support that nursery, because it's the last decent nursery there is in the country. So, every chance anybody gets that comes across Burnham's at a show or anything like that, buy an orchid, support the nursery, because, Sarah's mum died recently. She is the last of a line. Her family have run that orchid nursery for 70 years. We don't want it to go under, because if that one goes, there's next to nothing left, quite honestly. Anyway, so in support of Sarah, I couldn't walk out with not buying something, and I felt sorry for a plant. That's a silly expression, but I'll explain what I mean. There were lots of plants on display for sale, and in most cases, quite a few to choose from of each type. This one, there was only one. And it was sat there on its own amongst the others of similar type, shall I say. And quite honestly, it was the best one there. And it was still there towards the end of the day. And I thought, well, if I'm going to go home with something, I'm going to take that home. And then I chatted to Sarah, and she said this orchid has been to 3 shows and not sold. And she couldn't understand why, and nor could I. So anyway, that's what I did. So this is me not buying orchids, but in this case, a twofold reason. I like the blooms and supporting the nursery. So an unwrapping video, tinge of pink, you can have a little preview. So this is me not buying orchids again. I'm hoping this is going to come apart easily because I've only got one hand at the moment. Actually, if I get my scissors, hang on. Right, that's better. I should just be able to snip the sellotape wrapping with one hand, and it's my left hand as well. Got a camera in my right hand. God, this is awkward. It's also early in the day. I'm not awake properly yet. I got a travel day today. My daughter was down for the weekend for the coach trip, and I've got to take her home today. So I may not be putting the nursery clips together today. Might have to wait till, well, like I can do them this evening, ready for tomorrow, perhaps, if I'm back in time. But right, I think we're somewhere near it now. We should be able to start the unwrapping ceremony. Luckily, this is only tissue paper, so it tears incredibly easily. But, now, the blooms are just starting to grow over. They're not at their best. It's been in bloom a very long time. And I think at the moment it's a bit it's got a bit squashed in its journey. Sat under the seat on the coach, and I think it's thirsty as well. So I'll give it some water, and the blooms may plump up. Obviously, it's a nobly type dendrobium, no ID, but as noblies go, the combination of colours is very attractive. You know, you can imagine when these blooms are pristine. It's funny actually, one of the really good growers saw me with this in my hand and he said, "Oh yeah, it looks smashing now, you won't ever see blooms like that again." And I just said to him, "Well, I do." Because a lot of people do tend to take a fully in bloom nobly type home and it doesn't bloom as well as that ever again. But if they're looked after properly, I mean, I wish I could have just pointed him at that one and said, "Well, mine do," you know. But yes, it's got two lovely strong canes that are in bloom. One of the new growths down the bottom was damaged, but there's another one coming on. And these canes have bloomed from about halfway up, which means next year I'll probably still get blooms on these canes lower down, plus whatever I can do with new growths during this year. It'll need a repot straight away, it's in that cocoa fibre stuff, but yeah. As I say, it's a little sorry for wear from its journey. Got a bit squashed under the seat on the coach. But these are attractive blooms. They really are, you know. So, anyway, one new plant, me not buying orchids, but as I said, twofold reason for buying this one. I mean, it is a bit silly to go to an orchid nursery and come away all empty-handed. This is a tall plant. You know, but one of the larger sort of noblies, because a lot of them that are sold are they're deliberately dwarfed down to sell, you know, and then the next canes you grow, if you're growing them well, they tend to be quite a bit bigger. Well, this one I would suggest the two canes I've got are probably about as large as it's going to get, but nonetheless, you know, they are lovely, huge, fat canes. So they've been grown on well, brought into bloom, and the blooms will be over very soon, because it looks to me like they've all opened at once, which is often the way. So there won't be any sort of newly opened ones in amongst older opened ones. But yeah, I just looked at this and I thought, why is nobody buying that? Now, some people might have been put off. There's a new cane down in. I can't bother to unwrap all that lot now. We'll look at it in more detail perhaps later. But you know, when you've got two new growths and one's been snapped, that would put people off getting it, because in theory that's half of this year's growth gone. But it's still a lead. The plant is growing in two directions. It's got two leads. One's now damaged. It'll shoot out again. You know, I've had a room full of flipping growers there. They should know these things. Anyway, that's what I got, and I'll get the videos of the nursery put together as soon as I can, and we'll have a look round. Yeah, a lovely day out, and that's what I came home with. See you next time. Bye for now.